Hi guys, June 19th, 2026. I am Deborah Dondelinger, and I can't believe it's been 3 days already since I posted a short video when we found out that CP Enneagram Academy was closing its doors, and I was having some feelings. And I've been able to talk with people who have been affected by this, fellow students and colleagues, and some of us are having similar feelings, some of us are not having quite as many big feelings. And those of you who know me know that I am a self-pres four, and one of the things that fours are good at, we're not scared of feelings. And what I love about tapping as a modality is it helps us move through those feelings no matter what our type is. And there were a couple of patterns that I was noticing around processing the ending of CP Enneagram Academy. And one I am embarrassed to say is that um, I go to blame pretty easily when I don't like the outcome of something. And that would make sense because my parents split up when I was pretty little, like 4 or 5 years old. And as a little kid, I did have no power. And I think blame is just um, a default response to when I feel out of control. And I don't know if you remember the first video, I talked about four things that make something have a traumatic impact on us. And I'd forgotten the fourth one, which is pretty ironic because it matters. Things have a traumatic imprint on us when something happens that is unexpected, that is out of our control, that we feel alone, and that we don't feel like we don't have any resources to handle. So basically, we feel like there's no way out of the outcome. And it's been interesting watching people's response to CP ending because a lot of people have benefited, like, I don't know the numbers, hundreds, thousands for sure, have benefited from working closely and deeply with B and Uranio at CP Enneagram Academy. And one of the things that they represented for me and for many of us is a very solid, nurturing, feminine maternal energy and safe and respectful paternal energy. That was one of what made their work so powerful is having both of them there. And it's easy to project to them, of course, things that aren't theirs. Um, so so that was one thing noticing is the pattern tied to if we come from families of divorce, depending on when the divorce happened and how the divorce impacted us, we might be projecting some things onto this ending. The other thing is seeing it as a loss of opportunity. So if we identified CP as a way to move forward with our professional career, with our personal growth, it can look like those things are going away. So it's been helpful for me. And as a self-pres four, my arrow line to one is a very important line of taking practical actions towards things that matter for me. And all of us handle grief differently, and all of us have different ways of dealing with feelings that are too big. So I'm going to tap on, I don't know what yet, but it's just following up on this theme of something being taken away from us. Last thing, one of the things about tapping that is so powerful is we can tap on a current event and it has an impact on memories from the past that have the same harmonic. Or we can tap on the original event that has caused a pattern to perpetuate. Um, so it doesn't matter where you tap or what you tap for. What matters is that you can find some intensity around it. So I'm going to use CP ending as an example, but please know that the intensity that I'm sharing is really not about them. And it's more about the patterns I've had in my life where people have made decisions that impacted me and I had no choice. Yeah. Okay. So check in with yourself and you can follow along with my words. You can also stop listening to me and just pause and tap using your own words, or you can just tap silently with no words. And here we go. So noticing just when you think about CP Academy ending and feeling like doors have shut, feeling like you've lost something, feeling like you're out of control, notice what comes up. You might have some thoughts about it. You might notice some tension in your body, a heaviness. Or you might notice feelings that are bubbling up out of the heart space. So for me, I'm pretty calm right now because I'm lucky to have the tool of tapping. But what I'm noticing is a constriction in my belly area, my solar plexus. I don't like an empty feeling. So, okay, side of the hand. This is the side of the hand point. And I'm just going to say, I am embarrassed that I was mad at Beatrice and Uranio, and I was blaming them for making a bad decision. I'm just going to say it out loud that I had parts that were doing that. Yeah. So, even though I've had some big feelings about CP closing down their business, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though I and other people have had big feelings about CP closing down their business, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though I'm aware that other people are impacted much more than I have been, and it's none of my business, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. And you don't have to stop and breathe at every point. Now, after 20 some years of tapping, it works, feels best to me. I don't think it hurts if you do it. Some people prefer to move through the points a little bit more quickly so they don't have time to think about things too much. So on the eyebrow point, these feelings about CP closing, side of the eye, these feelings about losing a sense of connection to a community, under the eye, this pit in my stomach feeling that I don't know what's coming. And just a side note, to me, that feels like an older feeling that I have. So under the nose. Yeah, all the times as a kid that I didn't know what was coming. Chin point. These body memories of being surprised and not seeing it coming. Collarbone, this knot or dark energy in my solar plexus. Under the arm, which is a lot like the bra line, about 4 inches under the armpit. This sense of danger about not knowing. And right there, my energy just dropped in a good way. And then top of the head. Okay, stop there, relax your hands, take another nice gentle breath. So, what are you noticing for yourself right now? Check in. Do you have a thought? Do you have a feeling? Or do you have a body sensation? And I invite you to do a couple more rounds with me. I won't say anything, focusing on one of those three things that you're noticing, head, heart, or body, and see what changes. And a big yawn. Yawning is a common occurrence with tapping, means things are moving. Crying can happen as well. Just keep tapping through it. People ask, can I use either hand? Yes, you can use either hand. You can use both hands. It does matter at the beginning to be making physical contact with your body if you can. There's a percussive effect, and we're hitting a bone on every one of the points. The points are tied to meridians that are tied to emotions, so there's a reason these points have been chosen. The order does not matter. It's just easier to remember the points if you go in this order. Um, yeah, and if you'll notice, I feel so much better than I did when I recorded a couple days ago. I have a lot to say about using tapping as part of your spiritual growth. It is where I start with my clients, clearing up the past, and then it becomes a maintaining tool. And how do you know if you need to tap? If you're feeling tension in your body, if you're having emotions that you don't know what to do with, or if you're having racing thoughts, are generally all pretty good signs that you could benefit from some tapping. So Okay, thank you so much for tapping along with me. Feel free to reach out via my website is the best way. And yeah, thanks again. Bye.